Hey y'all. Hey. Hola. We are. What's good, you guys? Today I am going to be taking you guys into my kitchen. Today we are going to be cooking some rice and chicken legs. Let's get into it, y'all. Alright, so in making rice and chicken legs, because in this series I kind of want to teach you all like how to cook, because I am 17, I am still young. So while I'm young, you guys too, if there's any teens watching this, learn how to cook, because in the future when you don't have a crazy amount of money to be spending on McDonald's, Uber Eats, you should be able to cook. So in this series, I'll be making rice. If you guys want burgers, like a bunch of stuff, dinner cookouts, I will teach you all how to make that, because I have my mom in the background. Say hello.
Hi guys.
So she has been teaching me how to cook for a long time, so I am now ready to start making videos to educate the younger audience. So in the dish for rice and chicken feet, so rice, pretty common dish, I would say, and then I'm going to show you guys the chicken feet in a second because I have that marinated. But these are just a bunch of seasonings that are put into the chicken. I put them in a bag. Well, actually, let me just show you guys real quick. This right here. So this is the finished bag. Let me bring the camera over here. I don't want to make a mess. So right here is the finished bag of chicken legs, chicken feet, stuff like that. And chicken, this is good. But before you guys say anything, try this out. I promise you, I guarantee you, this is better than half the stuff y'all eat at McDonald's. All right. So yeah, in this bag of chicken legs right here, we just have a bunch of seasonings. And if you could put the camera over here, so we have stuff like adobo. You don't want to use too much MSG, but that's in there too, because I bet they'd be using a bunch of MSG at McDonald's. We have ground cumin. We have mustard. A bunch of sauces and salt. But basically, all that comes together to make the dish rice and chicken. So in a minute, I'm going to teach you guys how to prepare it. Let's go. All right, y'all. So right now we're going to get the pot. This is the pot we're cooking the chicken leg sauce on, as well as the chicken legs. So I'm going to bring you guys over to the sink because I don't want to make a mess over here. And we're going to put the chicken legs inside the pot. So let's get it, y'all. So I'm just going to make my way over to the sink real quick. And you can have gloves if you guys want, if you want to, don't contaminate, because always wash your hands. You need to, every time you're done, especially with raw food, chicken, I will be teaching you guys in further videos, not to contaminate. So as soon as I'm done, I'm gonna open the lid right now, put it on the counter. As soon as I'm done putting the chicken legs into the pot, I'm gonna wash my hands. So I'm gonna wash my hands because, always make sure to wash your hands. That's the number one rule in the kitchen. Wash your hands, don't cross-contaminate food. So right now, we're just going to get the chicken legs out of the bag right here. So the marinated, so all the ingredients that went into this marinade will be in the description down below if you guys want to try that out. So I'm going to carefully just start putting the chicken legs into the pot, y'all. You can bring the camera a little bit closer so we can get this done. And I know it's not looking appetizing right now. I got y'all. I'm about to put y'all on game. This is gonna turn out good, I'm telling y'all. All right, so now we have finished putting the rest of the chicken legs into the pot. So one important step, after you're done making the marinade, give me over to the sink. After you're done making the marinade of chicken legs, you're gonna wanna put, as soon as you're done dumping the chicken legs into the pot, make sure you fill the bag up with water, because you don't wanna waste all the sauce that you just made. So with the water, just add enough so it covers the chicken, but do not put too much. Don't put it above the chicken, about just under the chicken, and that'll be enough. So I already started putting water into this, but if it's not enough, we're gonna add more water. So just bring the camera just a little bit closer, and then obviously be careful with this because you don't want to contaminate anything. I'm just gonna put enough water just so everywhere is covered. That is seeming like a nice amount. I think right about there, just a little bit more. Right there should be enough. Because you do not want to put too much. I think right here is just enough. Now bring the camera a little bit closer so I can show them. As you can see, it's just under it, but you do not want it to be too high. All right, so you don't want it to be too high. After you're done, thank you for the spoon. After you're done, you're gonna wanna make sure you start moving the chicken around just to kind of get all the sauces, because right now the sauces are kind of stuck onto the pieces of chicken. So we're just gonna move the sauce around real quick. Move the sauce around just a little bit more. And then after that, we're gonna start putting our seasoning. So I'm going to put a little bit of mustard. Let me get that real quick. And then we're gonna put a nice amount of mustard. That's about it. And then we're gonna get some of our other seasonings. I'm getting MSG right now. Now don't put too much, y'all, because you know MSG is kind of a lot. So I don't want to put too much. That's almost for an accent of taste. But you do not want to put too much, especially on the chicken legs, because we already marinated them. We're gonna put a little bit of adobo. I opened the wrong side, obviously. Make sure you open the side, you know, with the bigger holes, just so it doesn't take too long to get all the sauces out. I'm gonna put just a bit, not a crazy amount, because like I said, it's already been marinated. We're going to get chili powder. Put a nice amount of chili powder, y'all. I like spices, so we're gonna put a nice amount. You don't have to put as much as I'm putting in, but I do want the end goal to be a bit spicy. I think that's about enough right there. We're going to get, right here, onion powder, which is a rub mix of a bunch of seasonings. I will put that in the description so you guys can see that as well. But we're gonna put a bit of this powder right here. Just adds flavor to the overall dish. All right. And this seasoning, as soon as I put it in the description, you guys can use this for like chicken, barbecue, and stuff like that. Now the last couple of things we're gonna do is we have ground cumin right here. I'm gonna put a bit of that on there. And you guys see me putting all these seasonings. I'm telling you all, this is gonna be a nice dish, y'all. All right, that's enough cumin. Now we're just gonna add just a little bit of salt. Just a little bit of salt. Just a little bit of salt, you all. Nothing, because like I said, with all these seasonings, there's a nice amount of salt. You do not want to add a lot of salt. Honestly, don't add salt, y'all. Just, you know, either add a little bit or not too much, because you know you don't want to be dying at 40 eating all this salt. No, I don't want to die. I just got started into cooking, so we just put a little bit of salt, and now that was about it for the chicken leg sauce. So before we put it on the stove, I'm just gonna wash my hands real quick, y'all. All right, y'all. So now that I finished washing my hands, I'm gonna take this pot over to the stove. And now we're gonna put it on high. I'm gonna get the cover real quick. You can just keep the camera on the food. Now after I get the cover, all we're going to do, y'all, is wait for this to boil. So make sure your stove is on high. It's on high right there. And now we're gonna wait for this to come to a boil. Let's get it. And while we're doing that, I'm gonna teach you guys how to make the rice. Let's go. You all, so for this part of the dish, we're gonna bring the pot. We're gonna bring We're gonna bring the pan over to the sink, and you need to make sure you put a certain amount of water, because it honestly depends on if you're doing a big amount of rice or a small amount of rice. I'm doing about a medium amount of rice to feed like 5 to 6 people. You know, a couple servings for each people. So we're gonna put the water right now. You can bring the camera just a little bit closer so I can let you guys know how much water to put. So basically, put your finger if you're doing the same amount as me and you're using the same size of pan, put the water just about. We're gonna go a little bit farther, and I put green onions in there just because it adds a little bit of flavor. So you know, it's basically an aromatic. That should, honestly, right there is enough. So let me put my finger in there. Basically, it goes to almost the first line of your finger, or I'll put the measurements in the description so you guys can see. So now we're gonna bring this back over to the stove, and we're gonna get this to a boil. So be careful. All right, we're going to turn the stove on. You can go closer to this. I'll be doing the pan. I'll get the cover real quick. All right, so now I have the pan. We're just gonna cover this real quick, and now we're gonna turn this side of the stove on high. It's already there, and we're gonna wait for this to get to a boil as well. So right now, after it gets to a boil, we're gonna put the rice in, but I will show you guys the entire process. All right, you all, so the rice water has finished boiling, so I'm gonna take you guys over to the rice bag. So, I'm gonna call this crazy lady, I'm I'm gonna call it Aunt Jem. So this is Aunt Jem's rice. You can find this at almost any Caribbean store, maybe the flea market. You can look this up, but I got it from a Caribbean store. My mom got it from a Caribbean store. So this is what we're gonna use. This is enriched extra long grain rice, and yeah, we're gonna get the cup, and I'm gonna show you guys how I put it into the pot. So we just have this measuring cup right here. You're just gonna want to put a bunch of rice in it. Make sure you fill it. Bring me over to the pan. As you can see, the water, is boiling. So we gotta kind of hurry this up. So you're gonna want to put the rice in one location in the pot. So I will show you guys it right now. We're gonna put it in one location. Don't move it around the entire place. Once the rice goes above the water, basically it's already above the water. And that looks like about enough. As you guys can see, put the camera closer so you can see. It's almost like a mountain. Once it goes a lot above the water, that's how you know you have enough. So we're gonna get our spoon real quick, and we're gonna mix this in, because obviously you don't want to cook it how it is right now. So we're gonna get our spoon. Be careful, because this is kind of a shallow pot, so I don't want to mess anything up. So we're gonna mix it. All right, you all, so I just finished mixing it. We're gonna put the lid on there, and we're gonna move it down to the lowest setting that you have on your stove. So on my stove, I have the melt setting. So we're gonna leave it on the melt for about, I would say, 10-15 minutes. 10-15 minutes should be enough, but I'm gonna show you guys in 10-15 minutes so you guys can get the exact amount of time. So I will be back in 15 minutes, and we're gonna move over actually to this dish. Let's go. All right, you all, so it's been a couple minutes now. It's not done, but you're going to want to occasionally mix the rice, because you don't want any of the rice getting stuck to the bottom of the pan, because if your rice gets stuck to the bottom of the pan, you will have burnt rice. So we're going to mix it real quick. I say mix it every 2 minutes, because this dish, you're gonna want to be pretty consistent with it. You're gonna want to not go upstairs for like 20 minutes and then leave your dish, because you will come back to burnt rice. So we're gonna mix it, make sure everything is mixed, make sure no pieces are sticking to the bottom of the pan. And since you're doing this every 2 minutes, you don't need to spend 5 minutes mixing it. I'm basically about done. And we're gonna put the lid back on, and we're gonna wait a couple more minutes. Since I already showed you guys me mixing it, I'll just wait until the rice is done. But just know to mix it every 2 or 3 minutes. I'll show you guys when the rice is done, yo. All right, you all, so it's been about 15 minutes of the cook time. Right now, we're going to uncover the rice. We're going to mix it. Oh, I just made a mess. We're gonna mix it. Let me hold this right here. We're gonna mix the rice. Make sure you go all the way down to the bottom, because you do not want burnt rice in the end. So it might take me a while, but I'm gonna fully mix this. But before I do that, I'm gonna put a little bit of oil. And the only reason you're putting oil in is so the rice doesn't stick to the bottom of the pan. So we're gonna put a bit of oil on camera, and then I'll just finish mixing it off camera. So bring the camera over here. I have some oil right here. We're just a little bit. You do not want to put too much, because these days oil will be killing you. So it's gonna put a little bit. That's about enough. Well, I guess my mom's telling me to put just a little bit more. That's about enough, right? I don't cook rice all the time. I'm just here showing you guys, because I'm learning at the same time how to cook rice, for the future. Alright, so we're gonna mix the rice real quick off camera. And after you're done mixing the rice, just cover it back up, and then about 10-15 minutes, then your rice should be done. Alright, you all, so our rice has finished cooking, as you can see. And then let me just show you guys real quick. If we go to the bottom of the pan, it is not burnt. There's no burnt spots, because everywhere, as soon as we put the oil, nothing was able to get burnt. So this is about done. We're gonna turn off the stove right here, and we're going to move over to our chicken legs. Let me just turn this off. It's a bit hot. So if you look at the bottom of the pan, I just want to show you guys real quick and clarify. This brown stuff here is all flavoring. It didn't get burnt, because we have oil, so it's not gonna get burnt that easily. So we're just gonna mix around the chicken legs. The brown thing is just extra flavor, so you might want to move it around just so everything you might want to move it around because this will be kind of tough to get all the things from the bottom of the pan. So I'm actually going to use a metal spoon because this right here isn't working because, you know, it's a wooden spoon. That's only really used for rice. So we're going to mix this around, and then I have a sauce that I'm going to put onto these legs in a minute. So we're just going to mix this around, and I'll be right back when I'm putting the sauce on. All right, you all, so we're going to move over to the chicken legs. The camera almost died. So we're just going to put meat sauce right here. You can find this at any store, Walmart, Save-A-Lot, anywhere. So we're just going to put some meat sauce on there. Nothing too much, but, you know, put a nice amount. And we're actually, while I'm here, we just have some water in this jar because, you know, now that the water has simmered down, you're going to want to put a bit of water to kind of get that back up. So we're just going to put all of the water into this pot, and we're going to mix it around right here. Make sure everything is mixed around. You don't want to leave anything at the bottom and making it just a little bit of a mess here. All right, make sure everything is mixed, nothing is sticking to the bottom, because all the sauce on the bottom, you need to make sure that gets caught up because you don't want anywhere to be burnt. But yeah, that's about it. So we're going to let this boil once more for I don't know, 10-15 minutes. You're just gonna want to let it boil again. We'll come back to that later. But the rice is done. All we're doing in this video is finishing up the chicken legs. All right, y'all. All right, you all. So right now for garnishes for the rice and the sauce, I have green onions right here, as well as one medium onion, I would say, and then, you know, just some cilantro that we're gonna use for garnishing, and we're gonna put on the sauce. So half of the onion we're gonna put in the sauce, and the rest we're gonna use just a little bit for garnishing. But because, you know, I don't really know crazy how to cut an onion, but we're just gonna take off this side. The other side we're not gonna take off because I do know if you cut this part off, then, you know, the tears, you know, crying, you know, insert the SpongeBob crying sound. So you don't want to do that, but we're going to cut it in half. You can cut it in half. Just don't cut the stem off. I think that's what it's called, the stem or the root. Don't cut that off. So, you know, I'm gonna, hopefully my Gordon, you can bring it back a little bit. Hopefully my Gordon Ramsay cooking class just taught me something. I'll be on MasterChef one day if you guys want me to. Alright, so we're just gonna cut down the middle. Hey, you can see that? Alright, we're just gonna cut down the middle. This isn't gonna be cut right, y'all. As this channel progresses, I'm gonna be cooking. I'm gonna be going fast, and it's gonna be cool. So we're just gonna cut down the middle, right here. You know, be careful. You know, make sure you have parent supervision if you are a kid trying to mimic this recipe. And then so after I'm done cutting down, we're just going to use this knife horizontally, cut the onion down, and then after you cut the onion down, we're just gonna do it like that. It's gonna cut straight. Be careful, don't go too crazy on this part. So just gonna cut straight. And then after we get this leftover piece right here, we're just gonna cut that down 2 times. And then you can either, if you want it small, then you can just cut it real quick. It won't take long. And then for the rest, we're just gonna cut that down a bit. Just cut it right there. And that's how you chop an onion. So this part is gonna go into the sauce, and then this part will be for garnish. So I will leave this aside, and we're gonna take this over to the sauce real quick. All right, y'all. So we're going to take the lid off our sauce, and we're just gonna put it low because it's basically done. All we're doing is adding the onions because you don't want the onions to be fully cooked because you don't want it to be mushy. So we're just gonna dump it in the sauce right now. You can leave it on the camera. I'll bring the onions across. I have the onions right here, and honestly, you don't have to dice it. You can just, because since we're putting it in the sauce, you won't be biting the onions and tasting raw onions. So you can just maybe, you know, quarter it or just slice it in half. I just dropped some right there. You can just slice it in half so you don't have to dice it. So we're gonna get the rest of the onions. All right, so we have finished putting the onions. So we're just gonna turn it off. Make sure that's off. I'm gonna get the spoon real quick, and we're just gonna mix it into the sauce. But make sure the stove is off because this dish is basically done. As you can see, we have the chicken legs and the onions. And we just get one more of that. And that's about it. So we're gonna put the cover back on, and we're going to begin the plating process. All right, you all, so for the final process, which is the garnishing, so we have right here some green onions. These are the stems. You do not want any of the white part in your meal, but you know, if you guys want to cook food, you guys can head over to my mom's channel. I have that in the description where, you know, she has her garden. These stems, you can just put them into soil, you know, put them in soil and then put water. It's like a regular plant. Put them in soil, water, and then, you know, these can become, you know, it's like the process of life, the circle of life, you know. You put these in dirt, put water, nurture it, it comes back out as another green onion. So if you guys want to, you know, keep repeating it, you just buy a pot of soil from anywhere, like Lowe's or something, buy a pot of soil, and then you can keep the process going. So you can bring it closer. So I'm just gonna cut off the white stems, and then with these stems, like I said, you know, we're gonna put it away for the purpose of the video. But if you guys want to know more about gardening, you know, head over to my mom's channel, she'll tell you, or you can just look up how to plant green onions. All right, so we're just gonna cut them thinly. You don't want to cut them too large for garnish, because obviously you don't want to be eating big pieces of green onion. You know, you don't want to have a big piece of green onion. So we're gonna finish cutting these, and I'll come back to you guys. All right, you all, so we have finished cutting the green onions. And then with the onions, you can cut them in half, but for the purpose of this video, I'll leave it. But if you guys want to, you know, this is your food, this is your dish. If you decide to make this, you can either cut it or you can have it the way you prefer. But we're gonna move on to the final step, which is plating. We're gonna use this amazing plate to plate all the food. So let's go over to the rice. We're going to move the rice over to the plating station. I'm gonna call this the plating station. And we're gonna get to it. Look at all the steam coming out. Make sure the camera's not too close because it might steam up the camera. But yeah, I just cleaned the wooden spoon and we're gonna put this on a plate. I did learn plating from Gordon Ramsay himself, so we're gonna get into that. So we're just gonna put the rice on the plate, you know, be somewhat careful. And all we're doing is we're gonna do even rice, even chicken legs with the sauce. Make sure you have your hand under it just in case something falls. Alright. Gordon Ramsay wouldn't be happy, would he? It's alright. Alright. Gonna make like a divide just so it doesn't go past. Man, this rice is smelling good, y'all. All the steam coming out. We're gonna do just about that. That should be enough because we're not gonna put everything in there. Because you know, this is supposed to be used for separate servings. So we're gonna put this back over there, and I'm gonna get the chicken sauce for you guys real quick. Close this up. Put the spoon back, and we're gonna grab the main attraction, you all. The chicken legs with the sauce. So show me that real quick. Man, can y'all believe I made this? I made it. Come on. Me and my mom made it. She's in the background. You can say hi. You can say hi if you want.
Hi, everyone.
She totally didn't tell me how to make this, y'all. It's okay. It's cool. I'm learning too. All right, so we're gonna be extra careful because you know this is hot. I don't want to drop it on myself, so we're gonna transfer it real quick. And don't worry about all the spatters. We're gonna clean it up because just like I learned from Gordon Ramsay, plating is key. So we will finish this off. Be careful. With the chicken legs. I told y'all this was gonna be looking good at the end. What I told y'all. It's gonna be looking nice. It's gonna be looking nice. Looking nice, but that's about enough. I'm not gonna put too much, just like I said, because you know you can have multiple servings of this. So we're gonna put our chicken sauce back on the stove, and final parts, we're going to garnish the green onions over the rice and the chicken legs. So we'll get a handful, put that over, not too much, about that. That should be about enough. Because you want to garnish each and every single plate. The onions, I'm only going to add just a little bit. I'll add that around here. This is honestly just for show. Can you even see that? It's literally matching the color of the rice. This is honestly for show, and then we're gonna add it to the other side as well. Right here, but this step is optional. This is just because I like eating onions like this. So this is optional. You don't have to add onions. So, you know, look at that. All right, and the last part is the cilantro. The green cilantro. We're just gonna take a sprig of that. We're gonna wash it because, you know, make sure, I didn't tell you guys for the green onions, but make sure you wash it before you cut it because, you know, this is coming from the store. You don't know, you know, where it has been. You know, it could have just got, you know, pulled up straight from the ground. So, you know, always wash your things before putting it on your food. Wash that real quick. Drain it. And now we're gonna place this over both the rice and the chicken. So we're just gonna add that right there, just two. I don't wanna put too much. And then we're gonna put it over the chicken legs as well. That was a bit too much. Right there. And that was about it. So, I almost forgot, yo. As you can see, we have splatters of chicken sauce right here. I'll show you guys how to fix that up real quick. We're gonna go get paper from over here. And all you're doing is wiping these parts off, because, you know, if you guys are going to Master Chef with this recipe, you gotta represent. So we're gonna take off all this sauce from the side. We're gonna try our best. All right, the camera died, you all, but all we're doing is finishing up the plating, getting rid of all that sauce from across the plate, and just get all that off. You can use multiple napkins if you like, but I think I'm gonna leave it right here. So, put this in the trash. I'll just leave it on the counter for now. But, here we go, y'all. Put the camera closer. We have rice and chicken legs made from scratch. So that's the camera. I told y'all, I will show you guys how to make these foods. So look, I'm 17. You make food like this, it's gonna taste good. So, let's eat, y'all. All right, you all, the most important part is the taste. So, you know, on this channel, you're only gonna get authentic. If I made it bad, I will let you guys know. Let's get some of the rice and some of the chicken sauce. You know, get all that garnish on there, all the green onion. And, all right, let's taste it. You guys need to try this, all right? Make sure you try it before you say anything. Like, the plating was good. I mean, if you guys have any tips you would like to give me, just let me know in the comments down below. Let me get some of the actual chicken leg real quick. This is a messy dish, y'all. This is kind of a messy dish because, you know, these are chicken legs, so I'm just gonna eat it the way I want. So let's get into the finger. Yeah, the main thing about this dish that you need to be careful of is you need to make sure the chicken legs are cooked properly, because you don't want it to be too tough. You want it to be almost soft, like in your mouth. So this turned out nice because I made sure I was able to cook it long enough so everything was soft. So I'm gonna let my mom taste. Let's see how she thinks, y'all. Too much? Now be 100% honest with me. How does it taste?
I teach you well.
You taught me well? Alright, you all, that's all that has to be said. So, this is chicken and rice. I taught you guys all the processes. If you need anything, let me know in the comments down below. And that was about it. Hopefully you guys enjoy. Eat well. And drink water. Not sponsored by Gatorade, y'all.